Vroom, vroom. Right, so you've seen the video about the forging the front axle, and you've seen the video about Monaco. Well, there was a box of videos, and Susie says, oh, you ought to see what's on them. And we found some of me racing my Nova, because I didn't race for 10 years, and I was going down to Italy with Rizzo Williams. And I said, what's Lanfranchi doing? He said, he's going to earn a load of money this year. He's going to race the Vauxhall Nova. You get this much from the tyre company, you get that much from Vauxhalls. Turned out you could win 700 quid a race. So that's how I got involved with the Nova, and as it happened, I won the most money, and I also won the championship. But that's another story, but you'll see a bit of that, because we've got a really good bit of video from old Gerry. Did a video called Vintage G&T. But anyway, we raced the Vauxhall Nova in the 1980s, wasn't it, Susie?
Yeah, I think so.
1980s. And I hadn't raced for 10 years. It's quite a good story. Old Gerry got the car for me, but I'll tell you all about it. It's quite funny.
Yeah, this is the start of a new season at Brands Hatch.
Are we going?
Yeah, of course we're going.
Well, here we are, Tony. You can see it's the start of a new season. Look, rain, misery, all undented cars.
As against that, it's Brands Hatch, Gerry.
Look at that beautiful Opel Monza there, the Terrace Opel Monza.
My goodness me, spotted it straight away.
Number 21.
You'll have to go a long, long way down the list before you get to my little monorep Nova. Now in the small class this year. But it's a start of a new season. Hello, he's broken down already.
And there is my old Monza from 1983. Oh, here we go.
Preparations by Marshall.
Well, there you are. Look, just to prove the wipers work, which is more than they did when I bought the car off you 3 weeks before or 2 weeks before.
Well, of course, that's against that. We used to have it quite light.
Ah, I see. Yes. Well, we had to make it legal, Tony.
Yeah, most of it's all black. Is that something to do with the black box, Gerry?
You keep colour prejudice out of this.
You're what? You're on the third row of the grid here, but a good time.
Yeah, third row of the grid. It was a very good practice. It was damp and it was wet and drying. And then somebody had an accident and they had to stop it halfway through. We were, in fact, I think we were a tenth of a second off the Merc. It was really good practice.
Good old grid there, mate. Good grid. This is from your car, Gerry?
Yeah, this is from my car. Lovely sound from the Monza, isn't it?
Yep. Oh, and look at that. Oh,
Round
yes,
the
get round the outside of them.
Ian Taylor doesn't give you any room here to come back in. You probably can't see the film.
Oh,
See,
I do. I saw it then.
Runs me very wide here.
That's the only time you've been on that bit of circuit in your life.
This race, of course, was run very wet to start with, but it was.
Oh, Geraldo, never mind chatting about it. I bet your little heart was going pitter-pat then.
Yes, it was all a bit wild. Also, you notice on the bottom straight here, you can't use full throttle. You'll notice halfway down the bottom straight, it gets all sideways.
And how? Oh, that's a lot of...
But what I did, I elected to run on sort of semi-dry tyres, even though it was wet, because it wasn't raining. And it was, in fact, the right thing to do. But for the first few laps, it was very lively, the car was, on semi-dry tyres.
Look at the way those cars go away from you.
Yeah, I'm afraid the weight of the car does kill it in these conditions.
Yeah, and it's a pity because it's a lovely car, the old Monza. Whoops, a bit of bumping nearly up front there.
Well, of course, this early this season, there was no control at all on turbo boost, so
no.
All the turbocharged cars really did run rampant, as they say, you know.
Is that some new method you do? You only check the mirrors when you've done sort of three-quarter lap. Before then, you don't bother.
No, actually, Tony, I check the mirrors after I've been over a curb because they fall down.
I see. I beg your pardon. I knew there must be some good reason.
Doesn't the Monza sound beautiful, though?
Yep.
It sounds like it's doing 10,000 revs every day.
Well, it will be with you in it. Does it blow at 6.2?
No, 250, they pump the hydraulic tablets up.
Yeah, well.
Hark at that, though. But then again, I get into fifth everywhere. You listen. I don't get into fifth in this straight, actually.
Well, now I know how many revs you're using, Gerry, down there.
Well, exactly. You'll notice I get into fifth gear on the start-finish line.
Well, yes.
You've driven it for long enough, so you know how many revs that is.
Round about here.
No.
Oh!
No, start-finish line.
Amazing. And that was his missed change. Doing his John Webb line again?
I've got somebody on my inside here. I can't think if it's skid or something. I know I'm having a bit of a dice here, but the camera doesn't show it, unfortunately. But it's still very slippery here.
Well, obviously it's slippy, because that's flat normally, isn't it? Oh, whoa, that is very slippy. In fact, I know how slippy that is, because you remember when
Look, there's someone gone by me on the inside. It's skid, in fact. That's skid Scarborough.
Letchworth roofing?
Now look at the turbo out accelerate me.
Well, yes, they got more.
But, of course, when the old Monza gets into 10th gear, it actually goes quite well.
Actually, Skid's not leaving you that much at the end of that straight, is he?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, see, it was only my second race in the Monza, and it was only Skid's second race in the Colt.
Yeah.
We were both on a learning curve.
Yeah.
And he was running his car with a very legal setup and boost at that time. You know, not that I'm saying he wasn't afterwards, but at that stage, he was a little bit disgruntled that the other. Colt
I like that, but never. Will you shut up, please, about talking about Skid and let me talk about you getting on the grass? I don't often see it, Marshall. Just thought I'd mention there that
wasn't the grass; it was just a bit of a wobble.
We happened to decide to go for a bit of the green bits. See if he does any better with his gear changes down here now, shall we?
Never miss a gear. That car's beautiful. Into fifth.
Oh, that was a good one, Gerry. Much better than the first lap.
He says Andy McLennan following me.
Who?
Yes, Mr. McLaren, that must have been as high up as he got most of the year, to be honest. He had a very bad year for various reasons. So Skid's not getting away at this stage. As it starts to dry out, we sort of become more and more competitive because of the tyre choice.
You're on slicker tyres, as it were.
Yes.
Not that we can, any of us, go out there with less than 1 millimetre over the whole, or is it 2 millimetres?
Something like that. Colt accelerates away, but at the end of the straight, the Mons are still there.
I remember that noise, Gerry. I drove one of those for 3 years, so I do remember that noise.
Same car.
Yeah, yes, in fact. Not a bad old bucket. Don't know if we've gotten that before. You're actually catching him now. I mean, lightly.
Yes.
And over fist catching him. Of course, he
It was
got
a bit tippy. I was trying so hard. It was a bit tippy-toey, actually. I was trying so hard to beat him. I'm actually very on the limit, but it isn't apparent. So now I should get him here now. I'm all excited. Caught up with Jonathan Collett-Joby, the dent in his door. So I'm
How did you do that? The first race of the meeting? The first race of the season? I don't know.
You should ask him. Now, I'm really going to have a go at him here now. But unfortunately, it's the last lap.
Well, there's no
So
way.
I'd come out of there quicker than him.
Another lap, maybe, Gerry.
Another lap, I would have had him, I think.
Well, you think, but you know what Skid's like, what we're all like.
Well,
Last
I
lap,
think
you don't let
his
people go
tyres
past.
were definitely in trouble. And that's it, I'm afraid.
Poor old lad being lapped there.
I've had some really good dices with Skid. He's a good chap.
Tell you what, doesn't put you off, does he?
No, trust him.
Castle Combe, the bumpiest circuit in of the year.
There's Skid looking very miserable there.
Well, of course, they've all got little red lights, haven't they, peering at them?
Oh, this is the start of the red light period, wasn't it?
I mean, look at them all, looking desperately worried.
Dickie Belcher and David Oates, not a smile between them.
Well, how can they have at that age? They haven't done enough.
Well, I think we'll find that's Colin Blower.
Oh, he'll be smiling. You watch Colin Blower, he'll be smiling, ha, ha, ha.
And there's one of the dreaded lights. Oh, it's blown out. Dear, oh dear.
Oh. Mr. McCrudden, indeed. Please, please. Oh, he looks happy.
Trevor Cooper from Uniroyal Tyres, giving us great information and knowledge.
At least there's somebody
I
there.
can't see a happy face, can you?
Well,
Oh,
yes, I can. Look at me. I'm chatting away there. Me large ears are at. Look at you, Gerald. You're there chatting away.
Man. Look at that bald patch, Tony.
Nothing wrong with the bald patch. They're bloody, you see, bloody glasses I'm worried about, mate.
They said too much sex makes you blind.
Here we are going out on our Castle Combe lot for our. It's only the second race of the year. There it is. Look at that monorep all over the place. Beautiful. It's a bit tricky this circuit. We had a bit of a bump at Brands Hatch, which you didn't. Fortunately, there wasn't a camera in my car, so you didn't see that. And the car's not really set up very well, or not as well as it was later on in the season. Here's the start. We are very much further back behind these 2-litre cars. Ah, here we are. Oh, I've got a camera in my car this time, Gerry. Obviously, you get sort of out-dragged in these little drag things. Hello, somebody coming. Oh, that must be St. John somebody or other. These 2-litre cars. Oh, hello, that's a little Monza, a little Nova. Oh, it's Andrew. See what we can do with him round this corner. I seem to play a bit. Oh dear, I'm sorry, Andrew. I wouldn't have done that for the world. Didn't realise you were stopping. Talking about this sort of thing, Gerry, when you're watching it on a screen as we are now, I don't really know what to say about it all. Here we are, we're in a good or a bad second place. We keep on trying to catch him a little bit round the corners, and he keeps on going away down the straight, as ever, the racing driver's excuses. But Andrew did have some large carburettors on that day, which he subsequently took off. when they disqualified him. You know, Castle Combe's the sort of circuit that is, if it were smoother, it would be perhaps the best circuit in the country. Well, one of the best circuits in the country. It is beautiful. There's a lot of quite tricky sweeps and tight corners. It's a super circuit. Much better, of course, in a quick car rather than one of these little 1300s. Although for the 1300, they do go quite well. At this moment in time, which you can't see obviously on these cameras, I think I've got about 2 or 3 lining up behind me trying to get past, so some of my lines might look a bit peculiar. Oh, obviously there wasn't anybody behind me, or else I wouldn't have left in that much room. Caught up with Andrew again. Andrew himself is being blocked by a GTI in front and a Fiat Abarth, which, I mean, why we should never be near those cars. There the GTI disappears and then gets in his way at the next corner again, and I can close up on him again. Sandro's not a bad old lad, even though he is Scottish. Poor lad. I mean, what a dreadful thing to have to go round in the world, having been born north of the border. Still, the Scottish Mafia do all right in these little... that's how close the racing is. I mean, there's 2 or 3 or 4 of us, 5 of us there, all in a little bunch. Quite nice stuff. Monoret comes out quite nice out of this, I reckon. Oh, there we are then. He's wallowed round the outside of me. Now I'm getting a bit worried. I think we're down in 3rd place now in our little class, which isn't too good. Andrew seems to have disappeared into the far distance. Once again, this circuit is a fabulous circuit. It doesn't look too much, once again, in a slow car, but these corners are a bit good. They are. I think that might be Andrew. I can't quite work out who is in front of me. I think it's Andrew, actually. Oh yes, so we are in 2nd place. I must have led for a minute or 2 there. My goodness me, all the things that happen to you in this world. But right behind us, of course, there's 2 or 3 other cars again, which, as I said before, make you go on the wrong lines. There I'm trying to stop somebody coming through on the inside, and presumably, that was very much on the inside. Not supposed to do that, because these lines are sort of sacrosanct. You can't cross white lines. And yes, Andrew was a bit slow around that one. I do remember. Now going back, it is a long time ago. This 2nd race of the year. I think this is where I'm trying to block somebody off. Obviously, you wouldn't be driving on that line if there's somebody should be on the outside of me now, and oh dear, somebody appears to be doing something wrong up front. And now I've got to lift off, and there goes one past me. And now I've lost all the momentum, obviously. So let's see who else comes past before the end of this next straight, because that's what it's all about. If you lose momentum in these little 1300 cars, you just don't go anywhere. I don't know who that was who spun. I think it must be old Kittleson. He likes doing that. I think it gives him a thrill. We managed to get all the way down that straight without... oh yes, one came past me, and then I'm getting on the grass and I'm doing a Gerry Marshall there. Not the sort of thing that one wants to do. And now I've got a nice sort of grandstand view of 2 of them having a go at each other up the front here. I'm going in here a bit tight, very tight, and that's why I was going in there tight. I had somebody on the outside of me, and you've got to leave him a bit of room, otherwise he sort of disappears into the barriers. Oh my goodness me, and because I had to lift a bit there, suddenly 3 of them have passed me. Now I'm at the back of this thing. This isn't too good at all. There's old Ivan, old Paddleizer himself. His car wasn't going as well in those days as it got to be going toward the end of the season. Good old driver, old Ivan there, Gerry. They seem to be leaving me. Once again, you see, they all leave me in a straight line. Ha, ha, ha. It's good dicing. It's a lot of fun when you're in the car and it's all buzzing and things are making noise and you're bouncing about. It looks all peaceful and quiet there, but it ain't quite as peaceful and quiet as it looks. I was hoping now they might all 3 knock each other off, and that makes it very much easier to take the lead back. But unfortunately, they didn't do that. I don't know why. Got a bit closer there, and Ivan jumping over curbs. Naughty boy. I think he's signalling at me or drying his fingernails or something. I'm not quite sure. But, you know, this is what motor racing's all about, having a real go. I mean, at the time you're in there, you are concentrating quite heavily. Even in these little cars, you're having a right... You know, it doesn't matter whether you're in a Nova doing 90 mile an hour or in a Porsche down Le Mans Straight doing 230 mile an hour. The concentration's still just the same. Hello, I got very close to you there, Ivan. My goodness me, I seem to have overtaken him. For the moment, anyway. I suppose he'll come whistling past me again. No, he isn't doing. Not yet, anyway. Obviously, is very much there. Now I'm squeezing him out a bit. I'm still on the wrong line. So Ivan's on the right line, and you've got to give him a little bit of room coming round the outside, otherwise he's going to be on the grass. And he can just keep his momentum up now, and he will very likely go past me right round the outside. Yes, he's doing just that. Just because you lose momentum on one corner, having gone on the wrong line, Ivan gets you, or whoever it is gets you. But I do remember this now. We did have a super race. That's so Carl Jones winning the race overall. Of course, we had about 1,400 miles further back. Barbara Cowell there, as ever, driving well. Two idiots in Novas getting on the grass, and this is Ivan and I. I've got his measure by now, somehow or other. I don't know why, so it's nice and gentle over the line for your wherever we finished. And that was sort of Castle Combe for the year. Right? Castle Combe's one of those great places. I mean, everybody enjoys themselves down there. We'll go down to the village at, I don't know, not lunchtime, obviously, but after the racing is all over and all that sort of thing, for a half pint or so before our wives take us gently home. Hello, here we are, Gerry, in the big car race. This is on there in pole position, Ian Taylor, then Colin Bloor. Hang on, we're already through to Gerry. And now Smithy himself. My goodness me. Richard Belcher there in car number 14. And Norris of all people, our new Antipodean friend. And there we've got old Skid there in car number 1 from winning the championship last year. Graham Hathaway, always a good goer. Now a bit further down the grid there is Duncan Kirk and David Oates here. And Peter Sugden. All lining up, all quite tweaked, I would imagine, by this time. Quite tweaked. Here, off you go, Gerry, and now we're in your car. Let's see what you can do. Hope you do a little bit better than I did in my race.
If it wasn't as bumpy as it is, if it was resurfaced, that'd be a superb circuit. It is a superb circuit anyway.
They're nice fast corners.
Quarry. Million revs on. Didn't even get on the grass. I always get on the grass coming out of there. Oh, you nearly did.
Oh.
Yeah, well, all right,
I
that's
wasn't
fair.
trying, obviously, Tony.
Now, this next one, what the hell, what do they call it, this next
I
right
don't know, I
hander?
just call it the King, but I know what it's called.
That is a superb corner. That's one that...
In fact, is that? Oh, you know, Norris Miles and the Rover's gone by.
And that's just sheer speed because it's flat, just about flat that corner, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you screwed your things together and
We were using a different brand of tyre for this event. Now look at the Merc that goes straight by and
look how bumpy that is. Look at that Merc bouncing about. Is that
Combe.
Roger or is it Martin? Oh, that's Roger. That's Roger.
But it was John Lepp driving it though.
Is it John?
It was John Lepp driving it that day, yes. And there's slipstream, I can stay with them on a long straight.
Yeah.
The Merc is superbly stable under braking, even on the wrong lines.
Well, I know. I drove one at the 4-hour race at the end of the year, Gerry.
That car, in fact, yeah.
Oh, yes, that car. And the ABS braking is quite extraordinary. I mean, I didn't ever think you'd need it for race driving, but you do. I think Mike wins this race outright. No, he doesn't.
No, he won the class.
There is no fluttering of flanks when he went past. Hello? Who was that?
Andy McLennan.
I'll say no more.
Diplomat to the end, Tony.
Well, I always have been.
Laramie Park, Tony. Now
Indeed,
there's a name.
now there you are.
Well, there we are.
I'm not going to say a word now because the commentary is now all mine, or most of it. And I can do a bit of singing.
Here we go again, happy as can be. All good friends and jolly good company.
Oh, come on, Ivan. That's not fair, mate. Oh, shit, Ivan. Look at this bloody car going past again. Oh, no. Oh, well, we'll see. That didn't look too good then. Seven into third. Ivan's all right. He's on the outside. Ivan's gone right round the outside of the bus. They can't do anything about it. And another fast car's coming. Missed the gear there. My fault entirely. Around the outside of him, but Ivan's got away from me. And I've got, oh, that's a Daihatsu. That's not bad. That's smack in the middle. We don't know which way to go now. Ivan's had to pull up a bit. This is still first here. Nice big bang up the back. That Toyota's not quick enough round here. It's got me now. That's all right. So I had to trying hard on the back there. Bit quicker in a straight line than I am. No over braking here now. Do it steadily. Let him through if he wants to come through. Not in our class. Doesn't matter about these people coming through. They're not in our class. That's Andrew Jeffries catching me. Oh, fucking get out of the way. Get out of the way. Bit of understeer there, but nothing much. Oh, he's going to get in the way again of this bloody hairpin. And hold me up, and Andrew's catching me all the time. $7,000. Oh, he doesn't seem so good. I think Andrew's taking first gear there. He's catching me. Oh, it's so much quicker than mine in a straight line. It's silly. Left him a bit there. But he's just come whirling past down this next straight. He's coming fast now. Or attempting to. Leave him round the corner. Andrew's just going to walk past me down the straight. He's done it again. Got him again going in the corner. But this is 15 laps and he's got to get me one at a time. through there than he is. Now he's trying to catch me again. It's first gear, let's see whether it's any better. I think that's good. He just come past me down this straight again. Look at him, I mean that's all flat out. Bit quicker through there than he is, a lot quicker. It's not going to do me any good in the end. Coming again, coming again, coming again. You can't have a bite on the inside. Left him through there. Coming back at me up the hill. He's just walking past me again. Speed of the moment. I don't know an awful lot about braking there, far too much. He should now get me down this next straight. Keep the inside line. John Hopwood's right with us now. That's all right, we won the class. 500 quid from good old GM.
Ah, it's amazing, Tony. You flash your lights and then put the wipers on, eh? Raining, was it? Getting ready for the champagne reception?
Well, I do silly things like that.
Well, you only missed 4 gears in that race.
Well, let's have
put
it.
the wipers on.
Let's go back. Can we go back to that one you showed him before missing a gear? When he was on the grass?
At least he's given me a thumbs up. It's nice of you, Andrew. We need a considerable amount more power, I'm afraid. Because I was quick around all the corners there and then he was catching me. Anyway, we go around for our Laurel Reef or whatever it is supposed to be. We get, hello, that's Andrew Jeffries. The first time he's been in front for a long time. Wonder what happened to Ivan Dutton. Very first gear round there, I mean, that's murdering the poor little car. Murdering the poor little car. I'm glad it was only 14 laps and not bloody 15. They helped me alarmingly, old Skid did. He didn't know he did, but he did. Always enjoy myself. I wouldn't be doing this after 30 years if I didn't enjoy myself.
Bob Sands, what's he looking at? His car's been written. Oh, it hadn't been written at that stage, had it? Do they sing?
Oh, no, this is all about...
This is the Red Light Brigade.
That's right, Joel. Well, I don't know. We don't have it in our class.
No? Well, you don't know what you're missing, Tony. And nobody's really got a...
No, hello. There'll be... Ah, there's that Mike Smith, superstar. Star of stage, screen and track.
Yeah, and there's Pat Trek.
Not a bad little wheeler. There's a Terracin Monza. Way back on the grid. Are you second row, Jay?
Well, it was a damp practice, but we didn't stand the second row for long. Actually had a super start, but couldn't quite get by.
Oh,
Patrick
I don't know
for a
why
minute.
people do that sort of thing, but I'll mind you that we've got turbo lights out, so some of the quick people at the back of the grid. That's why they're all bashing and thumping, and somebody's on the grass doing
This race actually bears a lot of attention. It's quite exciting performance all round.
That's Patrick Watts.
That's Patrick. Now you watch that he's made a super start. That little Escort, little Fiat was extremely quick in a straight line.
Gerald,
watch,
you nearly got put right for the first time by me then. Go on.
I couldn't touch him on the straight. But you can actually catch him coming out of the corners. And unfortunately, this race ends in sadness, doesn't it?
Well,
You notice I actually go down to first gear there because Patrick is still on the outside of me, and I can't really. It looks as if I've got a clear track, but in fact he's still alongside me. It looks like I'm in the lead, but in fact I'm not. He's still ahead of me, although it doesn't appear that way. In fact, you'll see he's on my right, and as we go into the next corner, he then asserts himself.
You didn't squeeze him hard enough, Gerald.
Well,
I thought
I was on the outside, Tony. Now coming out of the corner, we catch him again, right? And then we
Well-
get on the straight, and of course, unfortunately, the little Fiat's got just that much more power than the dear old Monza, and it runs away again. Now we're on the straight.
I'll tell you what, it makes me.
Look at that go away again.
It gives me memories of driving that old Monza because it wasn't a bad old bucket. Hello, there's Marshall and Watts over the. Oh, shit. Oh, my
John
God.
Hammersley had a very.
Oh, I
straight
tell you,
there.
Hammersley went very well to get round there.
Must have made his eyes water.
Yes, indeed.
That poor old Bob having about his fourth or fifth accident of the year. He had a very unfortunate season.
Some of them not his fault.
So you say. No, this is the inset is taken from Patrick's car, and I've now got into the lead. Thank
Yes,
goodness.
quite. I can see the way
The
you
rear
got there,
bumper's
Gerald.
hanging off. And now the Merc has gone through. Now we are now on the start of the third lap, and we are approaching the accident. And you'll notice there's no flags being fluttered anywhere.
We're now looking at the little thing at the
On the
corner
little
there.
inset, yes. And
None at all. There's certainly no black flags that I can see.
And all of a sudden we arrive on the scene.
There was one there on the left just before the accident. But you're doing 120 mile an hour there, maybe.
Yeah, notice how
Whoa! Bloody hell. Yes.
that
Not
was
very amusing.
That was a quite staggering moment, actually, Tony. It was.
Fair enough. Once again, oh, hello. We got one. Another showing of it. This is presumably from the start of the race. Yes.
Yes.
Bob sent now.
You'll
Bang,
see the
bang.
two Mercs squeeze me there. I go through. Now this is when I was saying to you earlier on that it looked as if I was in the lead, but I wasn't. You'll see Patrick is actually ahead of me all the way through.
Yeah. You've already torn that bumper off, Gerald. I
Yes,
don't
well,
know
it was
how
a
many
sec-
times.
It was a second-hand car. It couldn't have been very well fitted from the previous owner.
That might be true, sir. Might be true.
Now this is very interesting because you can see the great diversity of lines that we all appear to have there.
Jerry's on the curb. That's
You see?
normal.
There's two wheels off the ground though, Tony.
Well, quite. There's no weight on that side.
So we got the
though.
inside. This is right. We got the inside of Patrick, but it still wasn't good enough to get ahead of him. So I hadn't got enough straight line power to get by him, which is ridiculous when you think that's only a 1300.
Turbos, sir. Turbos. Now we're coming round into the accident. Well,
Yes.
we go through Gerard's and then into the accident. I've never seen this before.
This is a most peculiar accident. This one is. Fortunately, no one was really hurt, apart from Bob Sands and Mike Smith's pockets. Now he seems to get it
Bob
very
Sands
wide.
and Ilford's pockets.
All right. He gets it very wide here and goes on the
no,
grass.
This is out.
No,
He's
no,
on
he
the
goes
grass.
on the- right.
He's on the grass.
Right. Now he gets it back on,
Well,
but
he's on.
appears not to. Now watch. He's all recovered, but he doesn't take an apex for the next corner. Look, he's in the middle of the track and turns too late, and just
He just goes
understeers
straight
off. He nearly got away with it.
Oh my God.
I can feel that, you know, Tony. Old memories.
Yeah, you and me both. I remember in 1947, Jerry.
Not only
Yeah.
that, his boost light's gone out.
Yeah, that's true. Shit.
He was a very lucky boy.
Well, this was the luckiest lot. Then on your next lap.
Well.
I mean, that was crazy. I mean, whose fault and what and how and when, I don't want to know. But you don't need. I mean, this is bad enough on your own, isn't it?
Well. This was taken from Patrick's car on the restart. Ian Taylor, one of his determined manoeuvres. You'll notice the bumper's now been stitched back on the dear old Monza.
Did realise that, Gerry. I was up in the bar by this time with about 4 pints down me, thinking, oh, look at those silly buggers. One thing about having small races, Gerry, they go before these really big stuff, all the good lads.
Unfortunately, I'd flatted a tyre in the first heat and hadn't realised it because we didn't do another warm-up. And
why didn't you change it?
I hadn't realised I'd done it, unless I flatted another one there as well.
No,
The car was never as sharp in the second race as the first one. Just couldn't get with them again. But never mind.
Mr. Eccles giving you a little nudge there. Mind you, gave him one going at the.
I understand. Well, Roger's all right.
Yeah.
Ah, that's Dickie Belcher going by.
You are very close to him, Gerald.
No, it's not me. This is
Patrick
Watts.
is very close to him there.
Yeah.
And then it just starts to go away. So that Escort is quicker than the Uno, which is quicker than the Monza.
Well, at times that was a very quick Escort in a straight line, but it tended not to finish too often earlier on. In fact, and later on as well, they had a dreaded misfire and things. So it flattered to deceive. I don't think it ever actually had a good result all year, but it was every now and again a quick car.
Oh, Belcher's not bad little wheeler. I didn't laugh, did I?
In fact, it is getting away from the
Uno
very quickly in a straight line. In fact, he's looking quite threatening to me. I just realised that he was much nearer than I thought. So I'm still trying to hang on to the Eccles in the Merc. Actually, the Merc was going very well because Eccles got fastest lap of the race, and at the end, very nearly caught Ian Taylor in the Carroll's Transport Merc, or was at that time service.
Well, yes, they were being serviced by those people at the time.
Oh, I must have locked a tyre there.
My goodness me, I wonder who that was. Now, I've never seen... Here I'm watching a film for the first time. I've seen Marshall miss a gear. I've seen him lock up a tyre. I've seen him on the grass. Now, what else is he going to do? Are you going to give it a little whirl or something?
I won't put the wipers on by mistake, Tony. That's for sure.
Well, that's after the race is finished.
Probably because the wipers don't work on the Monza now, I remember.
What, lightweight, is it?
Oh, absolutely. Well, we had to take all the wiper mechanism out when we fitted the, what do you call it, the turbo boost fangling mechanism.
Suppose he could be libelous, all this, Gerald, or whatever it's called. But he won't run near it. He won't dare this bugger, will he? Tell you what, I don't.
Mike Smith in his second car of the day.
No. You didn't. You forgot to put a new tyre on. He just got into a new car. It's much nicer, much easier that way.
That's true.
I must presume it practiced as well as the other one.
But notice, you see the thing that's vibrating on the passenger seat, the red thing? That's in fact my new Terracin Rally jacket.
Just in case you broke down, you wanted
Well, no, I just sort of wanted to appear on the roster wearing it after I'd won, but as I didn't win, I didn't have the chance of wearing it. But
that flag was still waving, Joel, and by the time I get past him a little Nova, it's all gone droopy.
Oh. I had a go about you.
Only now and again, Gerry. It takes about 20 minutes these days. That's what I'm starting to think about it.
No, I think in reflection on it, there's a part of the blame can be mine, but I was put at the back of the grid through no fault of my own. We still dispute these boost lights, and I think putting fast cars at the back of the grid, as I said to the clerk of the course at Mallory Park that day, I said, you're going to cause an accident, because there's 5 seconds a lap difference between the sort of time I go around Mallory Park and the sort of time the guys at the back go around it, just because we're different cars, not because we're different drivers. And these guys don't want to give up their places. And on the first lap of that race, Hathaway and I were at the back of the grid. I think we were 21st and 22nd on the grid. And we came round and we were 6th and 7th at the end of the first lap. And we hadn't touched a car. We had not pushed our way through or anything. We'd just driven through. And I think in just over a mile of circuit, that's not bad going. Second lap, came round, Bob Sands is in front of me. Now, quite naturally, Bob is in my class and he was defending his position. But I mean, I did close up on him going through Gerrard's to some 3 or 4 lengths, and blue flags were being waved. But he did chop across the front of me going into Gerrard's. I eased back thinking I don't want to get involved in any mess here, and lo and behold he just lost control, and I hit the brakes, and as soon as it front wheel drive, as soon as you hit the brakes with the diff like we've got fitted and everything, you're just straight off the circuit, and we just went off together. And the thing that hammered home to me was how dangerous this sport is. But it is dangerous. It doesn't matter that they're showroom saloon cars. Our impact speed was probably in the region of 65, 70 miles an hour, and his front bumper came through the windscreen of my car and landed on the passenger seat no more than 6 inches away from my shoulder. I had a splinter of glass came through a glove, which I've got here somewhere. But I mean, I actually cut my hand. This is leather, and the glass has actually gone straight through the glove, and it's the palm of my hand. Now that glass could quite easily have gone into the eyes if it hadn't been for this. I mean, that's why people say you're a poser, because you don't need a visor inside a saloon car, but I wear that because I know that as soon as I have an accident, I bang that down like that, and I'm sealed in, and the glass can't get to you. So it says on the back of the tickets, motor racing's dangerous. I just haven't looked at the ticket for a few years.
Should have been a winner.
If we'd left the old engine in the car and just run it, but trying to be hyper clever and do all the bits and pieces, we run out of time. And unfortunately, we took on too much with the Fiats and the Astra, and my car took a back seat, and there you go.
Pity, because that's the greatest race of the year.
It's the greatest race of the year, and that is the one race I kept the Monza for all year. We knew it was a winning car, and unfortunately, we did it all wrong. Totally our fault entirely. And the race wasn't even run quickly. I mean, with all due deference to Smithy, he didn't actually go very quickly. He just did a good enough job to win.
He did a very good job, Gerry, but you got to be there to do it. That was Paul Meale in the helicopter.
Not Paul Meale in the helicopter.
Yeah. Yes.
Starions yet to finish a 24-hour race without a major disaster.
Well, they do, Gerry. They finish first. Sometimes even sort of nobody else in the class to finish.
Well, there you are.
First or second or anyway. Quite good. That was another car, the 635 actually, could win that race. The same as their Monza could.
325 IBMW would have been a good car this year.
Yep, I think you're right. M3 next year.
Monza would have been the car, though. I know I keep saying this, but there you are. Even so, the little Strada was lying second overall and catching the leader quite quickly, when unfortunately the fuel tank split. I know the race is full of ifs and buts. This engine is taken on the first or second lap after I got going, and I'm catching the field up. But it's a forlorn hope.
It isn't difficult to catch up Skodas, is it?
Well,
Joel, you're sounding about we felt on that bloody. Thank God the weather was good. The weather was good. The beer was good. The beds were good at the Brecon Lodge or what?
yeah.
Lovely place. So what the hell? You can't win them all. But it was a pity, because that was one that we should have done well at.
Well, this was meant to be the last race for the Monza, and then we wanted to go to a more modern car. And as the Cosworth Sierra hadn't been homologated, and I promised my sponsors that we'd run a Ford, we had to buy an Escort Turbo.
My God, Gerald, you went past him quick.
Well, there you go.
Must have been another of Skoda's.
I think it was a Toyota, but don't worry about it.
Well, I'm not very good at car recognition. No, I don't know what we're even talking about this for. I want to hide my head. It was not a good weekend, Gerald, as far as racing goes. It was not a bad weekend otherwise. One thing about breaking down the first 2 hours, I mean, there is time to ease a few down.
Well, don't forget I had sort of 2.5 other cars involved in the race.
Well, you did, I didn't. I walked away in disgust.
And it didn't really get any of the results we should have had. But then that's motor racing. It's a super event.
I think the best in this country.
I think it's the best club event of the year, without a doubt.
Without a shadow of doubt. I mean, how many 24-hour races are there in the world? What, 3, 4, 5?
Yeah, something like that.
And one of them's there for us all to go and see and enjoy. Every year, they will 24 hours. Let's hope they go on for a lot more years to come. With saloon cars, please.
Production saloon cars.
Indeed, Mr. Marshall. Mostly with Union Oil tyres on. Now, there's no need to frown.
The BRSCC do a magnificent job of putting on this event.
Well, you being a sort of council member or committee member, I suppose you've got to say that. Actually, they don't do it, but I'll tell you who does a good job at this event, the marshals.
I think the whole event is superb.
Well, it is. It's a well-organised, beautiful event. So
Well,
look
we've
at,
said
look,
that.
what are you trying to do here, Marshall? What are you
I can't
trying
go by
to do?
that. Good
Well,
shots, though, aren't they?
Yeah, yes, they are. They are good shots, and we keep on witching on about it being it never feels that good. When you see a thing like this that's been a disaster for you, you think, oh, shit. Particularly when, as we said, perhaps the most
There's
important...
Barbara Cowell and the Terrace Astra.
Being overtaken.
Yeah, well, there you are.
Well, why not? The 2-litre 1800 car against the 3-litre car. But it went exactly as we'd planned it to go and all the rest of it. The two Mercs rushed out there, did each other in the next couple of hours. The Colts were never worried about because they always destroy themselves. And
everything went as planned except our car.
yeah, and sure, a horrible thing to say, but McCudden and Smithy, they did it absolutely right in their car.
This is me bringing it in to hand over to you, Tony, but really and truthfully it's to say, forget it.
It has
now got the slipping clutch.
It has now
It's
given
caused
up.
by the oil seal going, caused by the engine being put in too quickly. Not.
Hello? That is a lot later that Mike won that race and won it well. They planned it, they did it well, and, you know, that is good news. But he got very pissed, Gerry.
Now, here we are at Brands Hatch. This is my first race in the new little Escort Turbo. This is taken from Patrick Watt's car, in fact. Now, this is unfortunately a scene of another of Bob Sands' big accidents. Very sad, this one. That's me in front, incidentally, in the little Escort with the terrace and colours. You'll notice Patrick got hit by somebody there and had a wobble. And that's Terry Edwards having a big wobble in front as well, but that was normal as well.
Terry, the Gerry Marshall line, man, Pelican, isn't he?
We're associated with him. Now, if you'll see, the race is now being stopped because there's been a big accident. You can actually see the flags being waved here if you look. Look, can you see?
Black flags.
Black flag being waved. You can see a black flag.
You do see them at Brands Hatch. You don't seem to see them at Mallory Park.
Now this is the same thing on the restart. Now, watch the horrific accident to Bob Sands on the right.
He does hit that very, very hard.
He was a very lucky chap.
Yep.
There's my old Monza with Tony Strawson driving it. He managed to find an accident to run into as well. Very gently. That was all very, very sad. That, in fact, was the end of Bob for the rest of the season.
I still don't understand. Maybe he must have been obviously being clipped or something from behind. How do you know?
I think he was pushed from behind. It can be seen again, but he's all right, thank goodness.
No, he said, here, hang on, I've hurt my finger.
Here we go.
Now, this is a restart of the race, Gerry, with obviously a few missing, unfortunately.
Oh, this is taken from my Escort. First race for the Escort Turbo. I can't remember much about this, to be honest, apart from the fact that the car had very poor... Oh, hello. Dear me. I hope John Webb doesn't see that bit. We've just gone by Graham Hathaway, I don't know for how long. No.
Not for long.
Not for long at all.
So you look like you got a bit of an understeerer there, Gerry.
Took a lot of adapting to front-wheel drive from the Monza, and it was there's a lot of development to come out of the car. Norris Miles,
3.5.
one of the rare occasions when he's been, when he started the race and kept going for more than 2 laps. Oh, we're on the first lap though, aren't we?
Yeah, hang on, he might go off.
Very quick in a straight line, that car. It's always going away.
It is a 3.5 Rover. I mean, they are. Or are they?
There's Patrick behind me. Patrick went extremely well that day. I think he was determined to show me that he was the front-wheel driver in the team, and unfortunately he tried so hard that when he did get by me, he held me up. But you'll see he forced his way through. Very good, he's a very competitive person.
I should imagine I'd just about be passing the finishing line by now, Gerald, in my little Nova somewhere, this race. Or is it on the short circuit? Oh, beg your pardon, you're in a different race altogether.
Should drive the Escort much more smoothly than the Monza.
Yes, but
It's still not as quick. well,
yes, you are.
No, it's quicker than the Monza, but everything just got that much quicker throughout the season.
Yeah.
We got the Monza going very well later on. This was a super race, actually, at the front.
That's Skid.
I think it's...
Yes. Oh, look at... Oh, dear.
Patrick forcing his way through.
Oh, dear. Oh, well, fair enough.
Unfortunately, you see, the Escort still had more straight line than
Look at it, yes.
had more straight line than the Escort.
Oh, he's throwing a wobbly.
Now he gets it all wobbly.
Oh, no, he's doing
I
a bit
have to
of
lift
grass
off to
cut.
avoid him, so you have to lift off to know where he's going.
Oh, Patrick. My dear fellow. In between dives, his little hands have been going around so quickly he's knocked all the indicators on. And
it's quite unusual, actually, for this late in the race, for Patrick's definitely rear lights left on the car. I think we bought 3 dozen front and rear lights all season for Patrick.
That's the only damage he did.
I didn't say that.
Hello, that's magnificent.
This is very interesting.
This is magnificent.
This is Donington, and this doesn't really show. We're going round Coppice, and we go down to the hairpin, and there's a couple of cars in front that spin. So I avoid them on this new chicane that Tom's put in there, drive onto the grass to avoid them with this new catch thing, and the thing just comes to a grinding halt. Now you watch. I avoid them, but because this new light tag, now watch, it just comes to a dead halt. See?
Yeah.
It's very good for safety, but you just can't drive out of it. And the silly thing is, I could have driven between the 2 cars that had spun and clipped them both. But unfortunately, I didn't realise that getting in that grass, that light tag was the end of you. That was much more attractive, that is.
That was the first lap of practice, wasn't it, Gerry?
That was the first lap of practice.
I'm just asking. Oh, that's
Barbara with the terrace and bottom, terrace and Astra.
That is, Gerry.
I haven't had an accident today, you don't need to come and see it.
So I had to start on the back of the grid with 10 seconds. But it was a very slow 10 seconds, as you can see. But this is taken in my car. Or it's a very short 10 seconds, I should say.
Yeah, sure, yes.
And here we are into the first corner, and I think I took 17 cars in the first lap. We've got a bit fraught here. Very fraught, in fact. There's nowhere to go.
Had to change down there, Gerry.
Well, yes, they all slowed down more than I thought. So I tried the inside here down the crane of curves, and two wheels all the way down the crane of curves, and I think I changed sides. I decided I've had enough of that side, and take the grass on the other side, which is all quite good fun.
You have moved up quite a patch from being 36th on the grid, I would think.
Well, car was going actually relatively well that day, very good. Now you see there's a hole in front of me, which is Mike McInerney's Escort. He leaves the hole, I go through it, and he then decides to spin off for some unknown reason.
Get through another couple there.
Well, that's Norris Miles.
Well, that's
but he's obviously blowing the engine because we can now go by him on the straight, so he's on his usual 7 cylinders. I know, when I ran the autoplane car, we had 26 wins in 1982.
That's a long time ago.
There's Carl Jones having one of his usual wild offs, you'll notice.
That's still leading his class.
Don't know if he was or not at that stage.
Well, on his way to winning the entire championship.
No, he didn't. He didn't even win the class in this championship, unfortunately. It was a great shame.
Oh, did he not? Sorry, no, it was the other championship that he... What are we talking about? It was the Monroe. I'm sorry, I thought this might be being paid for by Unioil. I have not mentioned Monroe up to now. Very good championship that is as well.
You notice the noise in the car is so different on the Escort to the...
the Monza sounds gorgeous.
This is a flat old noise, isn't it?
Well, it's...
Very, very quick car, but this was during the period when we were having big problems with the brakes. Car, super quick car. That's Dickie Belcher in front in the Jeffries Engineering Escort Turbo. So we're quite pleased to be catching them, bearing in mind it's only our second race in the car, and they've been running all year, and Dickie's a front-wheel drive expert anyway. But unfortunately, in the meantime, Smithy's disappeared into the distance.
Well, to be fair, Smithy's car got better. He got better during the year. He might not think so, but he did. He halfway through the year, he decided not to use other people's bumpers as his braking point, and he was quick.
Oh yes,
driving well.
Smithy improved all year.
In fact, Smithy's improved over the last month. Man, he must have improved from when he started, but he has improved. Hello, that looks a very quick car of yours, Gerry. Just driving past him like that down the straight.
I think you'll find he's actually died now.
Oh.
During the period he was going through his misfires, I think he retired at that spot. That's Tim Harvey in the Estelle Rover in front. They came and went. They were quick at times and quicker at others. It was I don't think Donington suited them. I think they had a brake problem at Donington, well, like most of us, but I think it was even more acute for them.
A big heavy car.
Lovely straight line performer though. And makes all the right sounds as well.
Yep, another nice little V8. Little V8, big V8, 3.5 litres.
Yes, he's obviously got a brake problem because I'm out braking with the Escort. The Escort couldn't brake anybody at that time. It's Colin Blur to win another race.
To win yet another race. Quite extraordinary the way he won so many races.
There's Smithy.
And Smithy.
To win the class. And I came second.
Well, yeah, but Smithy's done...
Smithy won.
That's Gerry Marshall, that is.
No.
My goodness me.
Not Gerry Marshall, the Terrace Escort.
Well, it can't have been, because he didn't get on the grass.
And there's Patrick Watts, who's had a pit stop to put the rear hatch door back in because he hit someone at the start and it fell off or something. So he was black flagged.
And here we
are.
No brakes at all.
I like that bit you've got in there. I mean, only because I haven't seen it before. Well, Park, one of the greatest circuits in this country. A bit narrow, but a real cracking circuit, particularly in the wet. Now watch this. Mr. Marshall at his best. Being put on the grass by Mr. Blower, not quite on the grass. Come on, Gerry, you were in this lot.
Well, The problem here was it was my first time in the Escort in the wet, and I made the wrong choice of tyres. And also I thought, bearing in mind the number of accidents that have been in Uniroyal rounds up to now, there was bound to be one here. And in fact, there wasn't anything serious, but I thought I could play a very sensible waiting game, which didn't pay off, to be honest. I think we eventually got second or third in class, but really we should have done better. Patrick drove a blinder and won outright, which you'll see in a moment. Terrific race.
I don't understand how you can have the wrong choice of tyre, Gerry. Surely everybody puts Uniroyals on.
Ah, well, they don't make Uniroyals in that size, you see, Tony. Anyway, I don't run on Uniroyals. But I won't say what make of tyres I was running, but the car came with a set of these other tyres on it, and I tried them, and they weren't the ones for the wet.
Well,
I don't know if they're the ones. Maybe I'm not the guy for the wet, but...
you used to be, Gerry. In the old days, I remember how quick you were.
Well, I remember what you used to be able to do. You know.
Well, that, but we're not talking about driving anymore.
A young lady told me about that.
We're not driving anymore, are we? No, but it gives you a little idea, and fun enough,
You'll notice actually in a bit we start to go a little bit better. After a while, I pull the ball. There's Patrick going by, and Patrick ultimately wins the race. Now you'll notice that ultimately I go a little bit better, and I catch them up. But in all honesty, it was one of those days where someone only had to spin, they'd have blocked the track.
You'll see in points round here just how difficult it is to drive in these conditions. I mean, Gerry's a little bit behind now, but by the time he gets up within 2 car lengths,
That's Colin Blow. I'm not that far behind.
That's Colin Blow. Well, Colin Blow, he's a winner, normally.
He's sponsored by Goodrich Tyres, you see, and he's...
What, in the Uniroyal Championship?
Yes, and he's won the wet races previously to this. Visibility isn't very good, incidentally.
Well, that's what you can see. Gerry's very likely doing here at 110, 115 mile an hour. More, maybe, Gerry, up there, left-hander up there. About that. You can't see very much. You hope that people in front of you, like Mr. Colin Blow, are not going to make us silly. Not that he often does. And it's all a bit tricky. In fact, it looks brighter through the screen than it actually does when you're looking at it. Mind you, I'm half blind anyway.
You're sitting further back, aren't you? With the camera sitting further back than you are.
Yeah.
Interesting is, the Escort is basically an understeerer, but you can still get it on. There's a bit of oversteer going on there.
Is that what you're doing with your hand?
This is my favourite corner on the circuit, this one. When it's dry, I love this particular bit. I don't know what it's called.
And to that one,
this whole section, from
that
now
bump
on,
downhill,
down to the left hand, is where I make up all my time at Castle Park. Lovely. This bit here, you've got to get the right line through here. So even in the wet, I'm catching them up. Now, this is the worst corner on the circuit for me because you just block a wheel. In fact, Graham Hathaway has now gone by me. Graham Hathaway, of course, has got a lot of experience in Escorts and front-wheel drive cars and is a rallycross champion. And, drives very well on occasion, and this is one of his occasions.
I'll tell you what, Gerald Marshall, you bugger. I had one £5 note. I said, well, there's nobody going to win in this but Gerry Marshall. It was coming down quite hard.
Well, that's what I thought as well, Tony.
Well, then, and you must have got the wrong ready tyres on, Gerry.
The only time I've driven a celebrity race this year, I've driven a wet race this year in an front-wheel drive car. I did a celebrity race at Brands Hatch against Graham Hathaway and Carl Jones, and I won that one quite easily. So I thought we're in with a chance, but maybe I'm not adapted to front-wheel drive enough yet.
Well, no, you only go back to 1965, dear.
You're still going to bang in a moment.
There you are.
Roy Eaton hit me there and turned me around. He then decided to fall off into the arm altogether.
Did he? Well, it's amazing the way the things these boys do.
Well, all very dramatic, though. All unnecessary, this motor racing. Yeah.
But I see you've got a nice free line in front of you now.
I've got a nice clear run now. You'll notice how I pull them all in again, you see, which proves a point. But the traffic was very daunting in those conditions.
Well, to be fair, I've never driven an Escort turbo, have I? I have, I think, but never circuit-wise. I can imagine it's a horrific understeer as a race car. I mean, on the road, obviously, it's a super little car, but...
They hear the engine go quiet, they watch the rev counter, it's all locked up.
Well, yes, that's because you put the brakes on too hard.
It's front-wheel drive cars. I mean, you just, at that stage I hadn't got the brake balance or anything else sorted on the car. Not that I ever did, maybe.
Just looking at that a little bit, because just here, Gerald,
That's Mike Smith behind us.
on the left there is where I at one stage stuffed a rather large hemicuda.
Yes. And you see there's lots of wheel twirling going on there. My only saving grace is I didn't actually go off or hit anything all day, so that's something. Look, it was the opposite lock.
You missed those tyres, Gerry, that was good. I tell you what, these conditions, it's just good to get round at a decent speed.
That's right. So my whole driving style, if that's what you'd call it, is really based around rear-wheel drive cars, isn't it? And throttle response and car control, which unfortunately with turbo lag and front-wheel drive and everything is not really totally suited to me.
You're trying to tell me that Fords have got turbo lag? Well, he says, if that's what suits me at this minute.
Yeah, that's what they are.
Yeah, he's going to cut that bit out.
All turbos have got turbo lag.
Yeah. I don't know enough about it, Gerry, because I don't know much. Don't know anything about turbo cars.
This course performance in a straight line was quite prodigious for 600cc, I'll say that for it.
And I say you're right. There's there's 3 in front of you and 28 behind you, or 22 behind you, which you don't get from a film like
4
this.
in front, 2 did get disqualified as well.
Well, of course. I mean, most of them had lights go out, or different fuel that they should have had in, or something like that.
Things like that, Tony.
Well, I don't know quite.
Well, to be fair, in these conditions, I don't think it's going to make a lot of odds.
No. And actually, on that day, Patrick drove like a little corker. But he had the best car for the deal. He had narrow tyres.
Well, it was prepared by my company, of course. Obviously, it was the best car.
Yeah, that's true, actually. You prepared it, didn't you?
But it didn't do my own as well.
Hello, look at that, then. Look. Bit of the old... Oh! It's all happening there. I can see your little hands working, Charles. At your age, you should, go a bit steadier.
No, I did put a new battery in the pacemaker before we started. Well. No, you see, we caught them all up, and now the problem was getting by them. That is the great Colin Blower.
Yeah. Who? You seem to have gone past the great Colin Blower.
Well, I know, I do those sort of things. I get a rush of blood to the extremities every now and again.
Well, I thought Colin Blower was on Goodrich. I thought they were supposed to be good in the wet.
Oh, well, there you are.
No.
I think they are, to be honest. I know they are.
But I'll tell you what, when you drive...
I subsequently fitted to the escorting back.
When you are driving in those conditions, it is quite slippy. Quite slippy.
That's Ian Taylor, followed by Mike Smith in front. Mike Smith had got some Demon Pirellis, P800s or P600s, which really were the bee's knees in the wet. Not that I'm making excuses, but he did go very well that day in the wet. In fact, they went very well all year. They did development and testing last year. They ran the car last year.
Well, Ian must have been on Pirellis as well. I mean, that's what
yes.
they... So perhaps
they Ian's car was, in fact, not very good that day. As you can see, he's really holding Smithy out. In fact, Smithy needs him a little nudge there, can you see? In fact, Smithy's now gone by him.
In fact, Smithy...
Yeah, Smithy then got carried away with himself.
Well, it doesn't be often.
And then fell off, which was reverting to his older self, I'm afraid.
He doesn't often do that these days.
No. But I'm
the big guys at the front here, which we can't see, they're that far ahead, is Patrick and Skid. Because Skid was, let's have it right. I mean, Skid is driving a turbocharged car. Oh, so was Patrick. Tweaky and, they drove well. The pair of them drove well. Hello.
Oh, now that's Mike Smith, shall we say, interfering with Dave Wallace. Smith has already had one moment and he's getting involved in another one. It's Dave Wallace in the Mound Tune Escort Turbo.
Getting a bit clearer, a little
bit
left.
Now, up the main straight, Colin Blower's now decided to go by me again.
And blocking you, and why not?
Well, he doesn't want me to get by him again, because this next bit, of course, I'm quicker than him on. He's quicker than me up the straight there, so obviously he's pulling over on me.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
know.
there's just nowhere to go now.
No,
is
but
there?
I mean, there's no harm with that. Colin's not doing anything wrong there. He's
No,
just, you know, he's come past you. He's not going to let you go past.
Well, it's the law of the jungle. He's got a bigger car.
Yeah, but you've got bigger.
Careful. Can't use that word on commercial radio or television.
Can on video though.
All the wheels locked up again. You know, rev counter.
Rev counter at 0. My God, he's going to let it in a minute. There you are. Look, he's back at 4,000.
Lovely dice at the front between skid and battery. I think Skip was a bit disappointed that day because his practice time wasn't very quick. In the dry and in the wet, he really thought he was going to win that one, as he should have done. I think
He didn't lose by much.
No.
But I tell you what,
Good
little 1300 turbo there. Patrick's, you know, he's what he is, a bit of a nutter, but he's a good little wheeler. But I reckon Skid's as good as anybody in this sort of class of driving.
Right, it's good, mate. You'll notice the Escort has grown an inlet manifold temperature sender on the top of the dashboard since the previous race.
You can't watch all those instruments.
Oh, Tony, amazing what I can do.
My God. Hello, we're doing the Tour of Britain. No, we're not. We are driving.
This is the North. This is North Circular.
North Circular, that's right. Yeah. Here I am, Gerald. This is speed for you.
No, is that what it is?
Speed.
That's a dual control.
This is a Nova. This is the monorep Nova, as you can see from the left-hand side, lower side of the screen.
Oh.
And
the North Circular.
I think we're actually having a race. We are having a race. And it's desperately wet. And there's Andrew. Who? Andrew who? Andrew. What's he got?
Jeffrey, I think he is.
Jeffrey, that's right. I forgot his name again.
Oh, there you are. It's so easily forgotten, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's in front of me, which isn't very nice. In the way, I thought, whoa, crack this, haven't we? A bit like you did the race before.
Well, there you are. Well, I did better than you.
Well, I don't know, Gerald. I don't know, Gerald. Here we are, in second spot, going well. Going very well indeed, nearly with Andrew. He is, of course, much quicker around the corners. I am much slower down the. I am much quicker down the straights. But I think that Andrew is going to win this, Gerald, because I happen to know what happened.
I happen to know as well.
It's a very boring waiting for it to happen. He's not very quick into there, though. The old bugger. Get out the way. And those are quite powerful cars just there, look. It is drizzling a little bit, as you might see from the screen.
There's Carl Jones.
There's Carl, your car.
That's it, in the lead. And he does ultimately win after a struggle. Barbara goes very well.
There is my little back end.
Make the most of it, because you won't see much more of it.
See much more of it is about right.
Here we go, now watch this.
It's very good, this. No problems at all. I don't quite know where I'm going at the moment, but I am now following Andrew through here, thinking, well, we'll have him on the left, we'll have him on the right, we'll have him somewhere. And now this is something to do with aerodynamics, because I've watched this before. Get out of the way, Andrew. No, well, he did get out. He sprung out of the way there.
And now we will see. All will be revealed now.
In the fullness of time, like about 10 seconds. Following Andrew through here, working out which way you're going to get him on the next corner and all the rest of it.
A little car goes by, alters the airstream on the front of the car.
Little car is got on the left there, bang. And you can't see very much. That is what I am seeing at this very moment. And we are still going quite quickly. Magnificently parked. Magnificently parked. And then, as ever, of course, the adrenaline's still popping and running. Get the thing down, let it get it going again. But he doesn't seem to have... The mechanic, the old marshal there is trying his best, trying to get it all down, but there's no way. I mean, it's well bent and buckled at the front. He's already stopping, look.
The great mechanician is out there.
Oui. They've got gloves on there. Look, well, one of them has.
Well, it was a wet old day.
We are going to decide it is not going to fit. Quite fun little moment there, Gerry, when it all goes black in front of you.
Quite. You were very lucky it happened on the straight, actually.
No, I was very lucky. I had a slow car, so there's not too many people behind you. There I am, having a nice little cigarette. Quite happy with my... Well, not quite happy, but...
Now, what's Carl and Barbara? Oh, it's Barbara here, I mean. She gets hit by Terry Nightingale, who puts her straight
Terry
on.
who? Terry
Nightingale.
Nightingale. I know. I remember his name. Took a long time to decide to select reverse. Barbara's not had half as good a season this year as I thought she'd have had. She's a good little driver. In fact, she's a bloody quick little driver. That's what they call him, Mr. L. No, Mr. K. Having a good old go. Only just lost this race, and that's in. You can see how the rain's coming
He lost
down.
it before the race started, though. He was psychologically beaten by Carl, wasn't he? And his car was better. His driving was probably better, but he couldn't beat Carl. He was psychologically psyched out of it.
Oulton Park, my dear fellow. Oh yeah, I remember this race day. I remember you were.
Barbara and the little Terrason.
If this is a small class race, you will see a Nova with more revs. Yes, it is. You will see a Nova with more revs on than you've ever seen in your life. Because it would not go into second or into fourth. Beg your pardon.
This is the time that Tony only had first, second, and third. No fourth and fifth.
No, I had
That's right,
third.
Yes.
I had third and 1 second. Third most of the time.
So you listen to the thing revving.
You listen to the little rev.
That's nothing. You wait.
Good stuff, this. All you need is third gear, mate. Look at these getting in the way. What they call him? And what? And get out the way.
That's Ivan Dutton on the right. And Andrew
Listen
Jeffrey
the revs.
immediately right.
Listen to the revs. I got second gear then.
That's the only time, I think, isn't it?
That is the only time through the race.
Name all your way from a straight line there. You're in third. Now.
Yeah, well...
Now that when they get into fourth, they go away.
No.
After the revs.
Million revs. Million revs.
There's Ivan going by. You'll notice the Marshall Wingfield back window sticker, Ivan's sporting. Just a commercial.
Why should it not be? He bought it from Monorep.
Bought it from Marshall Wingfield, actually.
Through Marshall Wingfield. Shall we put it like that? I mean, you know.
Marshall Wingfield paid for the car.
Monorep.
We're incapable of selling
Owned it. Monorep. Go Motor Racing. Monorep are magnificent. And here is proof that Monorep are good.
Well,
listen to those revs. There's about 9,000 revs. There's oh, hello. We didn't go very far. There's 7,000 some hundred revs on there. It never blew. It won its class. Got a fastest lap. I'm now decided I'm not going to bother with fourth and fifth. This is the big stuff.
This was my most disappointing race of the year. We were on second fastest overall, under the lap record, well ahead of Ian Taylor. super. We got the car really going well. You know, Colin Blow. In fact, if you look, you see I flashed Colin in the moment. I said to Colin, keep out of my way. So he flashed the wiper at him.
My God, I flashed the wiper. You flashed the lights.
No, he pulls away on the straight.
Well, yes, of course. You know.
Nice and cleanly in the lead, lovely. And then Ian Taylor, unfortunately, decides to use me as a brake at the hairpin. I still managed to keep the lead, but it knocked the tracking right out, and the car has got worse and worse and worse. And I had to retire it. Just wore the tread off the tyres. Great disappointment to me, this was.
There.
No, next lap.
Well, there we are, Joel. I don't know.
Car was going magnificently at that stage. We'd done a day's testing with it, and it was really flying. Never ever went again the same, I'm afraid.
Well,
you'll notice how well it's going, so I haven't got to twirl the wheel too much or anything. No. Lovely, look.
Yeah.
And when the car's right, it's easy.
Heater?
I put the heater on, you see, because you always do that with the turbo car. Well, I do anyway. Cook the driver, not the engine.
Dissipate a little heat from the engine. That's not bad going. That's a 1600 turbo against a 2-litre turbo. After a lap of Oulton Park.
The car was beautiful. Well, don't forget, we got all the Grand Scarboroughs and all the Mercs are all behind.
Well, you know, we're there talking
it's
about
a uni all round, yeah.
26 people in this race, and there's one person in front of you, Gerry. Even you at your age, not doing too bad.
I carried on for a couple of laps, but it was useless. I had to retire it. There's Ian Taylor now in front of me.
Marshall making degree.
Well, of course. Well, the understeer, which is unbelievable. Look at the amount of luck I got on to get round there. Look.
Yes, and he's leaving you through it.
Yeah,
you know.
And I also have to brake so early now because it just doesn't work at all.
Well, happily, he'll be going to Group A and into many other international things next year, so perhaps he won't be able to bump you off again, Gerry.
Oh, I like racing with Ian.
He's a good driver. In fact, always said he's a good driver. I don't know. Shall we start mentioning who we don't think is good drivers?
Well, you've mentioned a few of them.
Oh, have I already? Well, that's only because I've had a few of these beers. I don't think anybody's any good except me. And I can't go very quick. So what chance have all this lot got?
I don't know why we're perpetrating this particular scene, because I'm so bored with it now.
Well, he's going to clop it
the
off.
skid
anyway.
goes by now. The car is finished at this stage. I think I now throw the towel in. It's all self-explanatory now. I must say, I did protest Ian Taylor's driving. It's the first time I've ever done that in my life, and then I withdrew the protest. And
I tell you what, Marshall, you're looking slimmer these days. I've got to say that. You're looking, well,
they're the same overalls I've had for about the last 15 years.
Yeah, no, but they're now drooping over you rather than being desperately sort of tight round your stomach. Perhaps it's just that your stomach has moved up to your chest.
Possibly, yes.
The thing that happened the wrong way around last time is going the right way around now.
You're too kind.
There, Jim.
But bang, just kept going, and my wheel was now pointing that direction. Oh, it's the task mode. Got ahead of him again, but just couldn't hold him. I just couldn't hold him up because the understeer was so bad after that. But you look at the wheel. You see the stay on my front wheel? Yeah. A big lump out of it.
The next round was at Silverstone supporting the Tour Trophy. At this point in the season, it was a unanimous decision on the director's part to put the camera in Norris Miles' car, who qualified 7th behind Gerry, qualifying 5th, to capture Gerry's driving from the outside. Unfortunately, nobody told Norris he was meant to stay behind Gerry, and he went off into the distance chasing the leader. But as it was the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit, we have included a lap of it for you to savour.
Throttle jammed, and I arrived at Druitt. I've been left foot braking, and arrived there with my left foot on the brake, and I thought, hang on, the throttle's still, and you split second stuff. I thought my foot must still be on throttle, so I lifted my foot back like that, and still it was powering on. By now it's getting towards the curb, and it was going quite quickly, because I hadn't even knocked it out of gear or anything. I mean, it had been on this full throttle since the bloody bridge. And I flicked it on handbrake to save it, and just as it came round, the back wheels went over into the kitty litter, as they call it, and over it went. I mean, it was so balletic, you could have set it to music. It just went over and landed on its roof. And then there was the hilarious sight of me hanging upside down in the belts, and eventually finding the buckle and went bang on the roof like that, landing on the floor. But I couldn't get out. So the marshals had, because the doors were down in the gravel, so the marshals are digging away furiously at the doors like rabbits, trying to get me out. And then, I mean, I spent the rest of the session just like that, praying that nobody else would go off and hit it, because there were about 3 others off up there. And the rover, one of the rovers came within that of rising it off. But I think it'll be alright for the race. And I think it's on the front row. So,
Your car, Jim.
No, it's Patrick Watts. It's taken from my Turbo. Patrick
Well,
Watts.
Patrick was in pole, was he? Or
on the front row. It was a wet
you didn't have
practice.
to get away, didn't he?
That's a very quick little car, this. Lovely little car.
That's Patrick leading from the front row. Obviously, a
I think you'll
Democrat.
find,
Well, yes, obviously.
yes, Ian Taylor.
Here is it?
Ian, yes.
Yeah. Oh, look at that petrol coming out of that car.
Which was, of course, was his downfall, because he ran out of petrol.
It should have been his downfall before that. He went past 2 black flags, or yellow and black
And
flags.
that's Mike Smith following, of course.
The Grand Prix circuit, of course.
Colin Blower.
You won't see us then. We're in the back of it. We won our class here by 18 seconds. Doesn't make much difference when you're that far behind.
And I think in a moment my escort should go. There is it my escort? No, that's Graham Scarborough. That's my escort going by.
No,
followed by
that's
Graham Hathaway's escort. No, sorry, no, that's the Rover of Tim Harvey, Pegleg Harvey.
Pegleg's going to go quite well next year.
He stays on, yes. Very
Well, yes.
competitive person.
Yeah, well, he'll never go, but he's got maybe 20 years on you, and Nigel. He's got 30 years on me, maybe 20 years on you, you know.
Very well.
He won't win for a bit. Here we're back at Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit.
Super circuit, though, isn't it?
Yep.
And in 158.04 for Dana, then
My poor little car hasn't come into view yet. Bit demon stuff. I tell you what, some of these lads in their escorts drove well this year as well. You know, old escorts that, not escorts, I mean Capris that, yeah, are still a good old thing, aren't they?
Very cheap to run.
Good way of learning to drive racing cars, and you're in a full-pitched national championship that you can learn an awful lot. And you can meet an awful lot of guys that can teach you things. And it's cheap motor racing. In a Capri or in a older car. In a Monza, for instance. You could buy a Monza now, Gerry. I reckon Bill Clone there sell you a Monza for about $2.5 grand.
That's all they're worth, anyway.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about what they're worth.
That's yesterday's car.
Yes, of course it is. But so is a Capri.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of cars are going to be front-wheel drive in the future. Oh.
Gerald, I don't know when you think of that.
Countdown. Crosses the line. Looks okay from here with the top. It's likely to be through the corners. But it is more obvious. Three sides of the fuel cap on the. And victory for Skid Scarborough by 1.6 seconds from Mike Smith, who finished in third, 2.6 seconds later. And in fourth place, Graham Hathaway. Tim Harvey just managed to finish fifth from in 16th place.
The end of another season's motor racing. Another. You're about 24th and mine about 30th. Well, beg your pardon, perhaps you're not as old as that.
And neither of us won the championship this time.
Has anybody? Nonetheless, let's leave that at that. Who's bothered who wins championships? Mike's done very well for himself. We've all had a fairly good time. And I mean, I've been driving perhaps a car that I didn't want to drive at the beginning of the year, but at least it's kept me in motor racing. I've had a bit of fun. I've won a few races. You've done the same. You've won your class now and again. What the hell? That's what it's all about. Having a bit of fun, enjoying yourself. Look at you. I mean, how can you expect to win motor races? Particularly with cars looking like that.
Well, there we are.
Yeah, now you're on it. Hello.
Now, see, I was running the important part of the day. Look, there's that Peter Mackay.
So it is, Pete Mackay.
By golly, doesn't my bald head dazzle you though?
Bald head, the grey head, and Peter Mackay smoking heavily.
Shall we go and have a glass of lemonade?
I think I'll have a pint, Joel. You can have a gin and tonic.
Thank you, Tony. You're round.